What Solar guitars are doing is genius. It's really clever, it makes a lot of sense, and I'm really surprised that not many other brands, if any, are doing it. And so today I thought we'd take a look and give them some well-deserved recognition for what they're doing. And what is it that they're doing? Well, they launched a affordable, budget-friendly sub-brand. Now hang on, I know what you're thinking, that's not really very special at all. And you'd be right, surface level, it's very, very common. You see it with Fender, they've got Squier, Gibson have Epiphone, PRS have PRS SE. These are all budget-friendly brand alternatives to the main brand. But Solar are doing something still a little bit different with S by Solar guitars. Geo-locking them. Slight tangent, but it'll make sense in a second. Put yourself in the shoes of a successful guitar brand. What's the problem that you and all the other guitar brands will face that you have minimal control over? Counterfeits. Nearly every successful guitar company, including Solar Guitars, have or will face counterfeiters forging products for sale online. And there's not a whole lot you can do to stop this. You can send cease and desists, not that they'd be listened to, and depending on the country you can get court orders to stop the imports of these that can be seized on import, but even then that's not 100% successful. Realistically, the best way to stop a counterfeit is to lower the demand for them. So why do people buy counterfeit guitars? Why do people buy counterfeit anything? Well, it all generally revolves around one thing. They'd like the genuine article, but it's not in budget. It's a lot more expensive than the counterfeit option. Price will always be a deciding factor when it comes to the purchasing of counterfeit guitars. So now let's jump to a country like Brazil. If you're a guitar player in Brazil, well, the prices that you're going to be paying for guitars are astronomically high. We've been visited by Gingy. What were we even talking about? Super high prices of guitars in Brazil. And I'll show you an example. I could show lots of examples, but I'm just going to show you one, and it will demonstrate just how big of a difference it is when we're talking about guitar prices. This is the PRS SE Silver Sky. It's PRS's more budget-friendly alternative to the USA-made Silver Sky. And it's not super cheap, but it's a doable amount of money. It's $679 US. So that's how much it would cost if you bought it in the USA from Sweetwater. It's one of the biggest US stores. Now let's compare that to buying the same exact guitar from one of Brazil's biggest music stores. It will cost over 11,000 Brazilian real. And in US dollars, that is the equivalent of $2,368. That's the PRS SE. That's the more budget accommodating guitar. Over $2,000. And it gets even crazier if you look at the average wage in Brazil. The average monthly wages are about 8,000 real. This guitar costs over 11,000, so it's over a month's wages. There are reasons for this high price, primarily surrounding Brazil's import taxes. They're quite high. Commercial import taxes range from 10 to 35%, and postal import is 60%. The high import tax is because of a policy designed to increase domestic purchases and domestic production, and it does work, because there are Brazilian guitar brands that are made in Brazil that are significantly cheaper than the imported alternatives. But what if you're a player in Brazil and you want something different? Well, I don't think we can really blame them for looking at the counterfeit options, which even after the import taxes will be significantly cheaper. But what are Solar doing that's clever? Well, they launched this budget-friendly brand, S by Solar, which seems to be actually budget friendly. These guitars are only available in certain regions, Brazil being one of them, and they seem to be able to keep the price down. An S guitar can come in for around a little over $400, and that's a significantly big difference between over $2,000 for the PRS SE example. Geographical pricing isn't a new thing. It's been around for a long time. A lot of the tech industry do it, as well as video games, where the same product will be priced differently in different parts of the world depending on the financial situations of those different parts of the world. But I think this might be one of the first times, at least, that we're seeing this in the guitar world. And while this doesn't eliminate counterfeit Solar guitars in places like Brazil, with more competitive pricing, the allure to go towards those counterfeit guitars that are cheaper is less and less. If you can buy a genuine Solar product for around the same price, well, it makes more sense to go with the genuine product. I really see this as a good thing because it allows people in countries like Brazil to afford the guitars that they want. And I'm surprised we haven't seen more brands doing region lock guitars, because I'm not sure there's a huge downside. There's no doubt that Solar have increased their customer base in Brazil, and they offer the standard range of Solars too there. Of course, they're more expensive because of the import taxes, but now there's a stepping stone with the S by Solar up to those. I just think it's a really smart business move because it benefits Solar and it benefits the customer, and I think if more people around the world can afford to play guitar, that's a good thing. So I just wanted to give credit where credit is due for a very clever implementation of region locked guitars and guitar brands. Anyway, that's the video. Like it if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!